Join us at Women of Courage and celebrate the achievements of women. Before we begin, we're going to take a few moments to collect ourselves and to relax before we engage into our discussion. What we need to do is to focus now on bringing positive energy into our lives and into the world. The energy that we project every day is the same energy that we get back. We have all seen those people that can walk into a room and they glow. People want to be around them. People feel better being in their presence. That's the energy that we need to create. And once we learn how to do this, our lives will be filled with greatness. We will attract that positive energy. And how we can do this is by changing our outlook, meeting every day with gratitude, thankfulness, optimism, and once you do this, you will see a change in yourself. I want you to take a moment and close your eyes. Think about everything positive in your life. Family, friends, a career, your faith. All of this is how you start your day. Every morning when you wake up, I want you to think about what is positive in your life. I want you to list 10 reasons why your life is amazing. You will see the change. You will be changed. You will begin to attract life's blessings. Lead with gratitude. Be thankful and think positive. The Women of Courage show is being broadcast by the Women and Children's Restoration Ministries to help you problem solve, to help you dream again, to help you believe that anything is possible. We want you to believe that you do not have to marry the first man you meet just to get someone to take care of you. You do not have to live a life of drudgery. You can educate yourself. All you have to do is learn to read competently. We want you to take a chance on yourself. Stop believing all the soothsayers around you that have never left a state in their lives. People who do not have courage to fly. People who only think of lying, cheating, and stealing. You can live an exciting life. All you have to do is believe that you can make your dreams come true. You do not have to go to bed with someone you despise day in and day out. You have the right to marry someone that you can talk to someone that believes in you and has faith in you as a human being. In other words, you do not have to settle for just anyone. But what you must do is strive toward your goal. You must be goal oriented. You must organize yourself. You must be clear about what you want in life and why you want such a life. All of us are made up of dreams. As our dreams unfold in our lives, our spirit soars. Realizing our dreams becomes a problem because oftentimes we are beaten down by our friends and family. We are beaten down at school by people laughing at us because of our shoe size, our ear size, our breast size, the clothes we wear, etc. We are beaten down by people saying nothing will come of our lives. We are beaten down when our mothers and grandmothers constantly say that we're going to be just like our father, an inmate in prison. Many of us are also discouraged when our mothers are inattentive. She is wrapped up in her new boyfriend. But life anew is possible. It is my job to encourage you to go as far as you can dream and as far as your dreams can take you. It is my job to get you to believe in life again. I am sick and tired of people failing at life just because they are around negative speaking and negative acting people. Do not let the failure of other people make you lose confidence in yourself. Yes, you may be surrounded by poverty, but you must look for a way out. The book, If You Believe in God, You Do Not Belong in Prison, will help you. What you must do above all else is learn to read competently. You must read, and read. Anyone who laughs at you for reading, you need to leave that person alone. I do not care if it's your mother. Anyone who discourages you, you are to stop all association. Man is not different than plants. We need encouragement to grow as plants need water to thrive. You are to leave foolish, stupid people alone. Their ignorance will weigh you down or even get you killed. Sit down and think how you can avoid these people, especially if they're in your family. If you are overwhelmed with the tiring feeling that feels as if you're carrying a bag of stone around every morning when you get out of bed and think how you'll have to spend another living life you're not passionate about, the books I suggest are the perfect solution for your unique needs. Not only will we help you realize why these feelings overwhelm you and what you can do to change it, but they will also teach you how to live a life of strength, courage, fearlessness in order to realize all of your dreams. If you are lacking the attitude and psychology, proper resource or vision to make your dreams a reality, combined with dissatisfaction with the execution of your plans, but you remain firmly dedicated to making your ambition a reality and creating the life you deserve, you will certainly derive the most benefit from professional, incredible content within these books. Contents that will assist you in achieving the results that you are after. You are never to give up on yourself. Are you ready to leave your future to chance? Of course not. Take your life in your hand and learn all the necessary tools, mindset, strategies used by the men and women of courage, used in order to live the life of their dream. Change your life with our book starting today. By now, you can see that low self esteem is a problem. Low self esteem is wreaking havoc in the lives of people all over the country. People with low self esteem do not trust their judgment. The hardest thing about being a person with low self esteem is having faith to trust his or her instinct because it's an abstract intangible, because there's nothing more than a feeling in your gut that something is wrong. People often fail to have confidence to listen to their internal voice when that internal voice is telling them something good. People are turning to drugs, alcohol, trying to find some relief from feeling bad or from the thoughts that are coming into their minds. Furthermore, self-esteem also affects the family and the children growing up in homes of people with low self-esteem. Low self-esteem does not go away once a person enters his or her own home. This is a subject that we will discuss. Children who are the minors of people who have self-esteem, low self-esteem, trying to stop the incessant dialogue where people repeatedly condemn themselves for some minor infraction for not being perfect is a goal for a peaceful life. If feelings of low self-esteem persist, the feelings can lead to anxiety and depression, and all semblance of self-confidence is gone. I am now going to discuss the phenomena of internal dialogue and how it can destroy our lives if we fail to control our self-speech. Then I will discuss anxiety and self-confidence. Listen closely. Maybe something that I will say will help you. But please remember, if low self-esteem persists in your life, seek counseling. You will be surprised how much better you will feel working with a counselor. An internal dialogue or self talk or the inner speech is a person's inner voice. It is a running verbal monologue that a person has with himself or herself while they are conscious. Therefore, an internal dialogue can be explained roughly as an inner conversation that people have with themselves. The discussion that we have with ourselves is usually tied to our sense of self. These monologues can be characterized as planning, problem solving, self reflection, self image, critical thinking, emotions, and sub vocalizations. We talk to ourselves every day, all day. When this dialogue becomes negative or critical, it contributes to a psychological disorder, including depression, anxiety, and a number of other mental disorders. Your internal dialogue or your interspeech is quite simply your thoughts. It is the little voice in your head that comments on your life, whether that is what is going on around you or what you are thinking consciously or subconsciously. It's the conversation that you have with yourself when you call yourself stupid or I shouldn't have done that. Oh boy, I wonder what people are thinking. Please note that your inner conversations are comments that you make for or against yourself. You become a critic for or against you. All of us have an internal dialogue, and it runs all the time as long as we are awake. Some of us, however, pay more attention to it than others, and we become skilled at manipulating our internal dialogue. It is the way in which we apply logic to what is happening around us, although the logic may sometimes be skewed or driven by your emotions or your experience. But what you think and the language you use can affect your mood, your self confidence, and your self esteem, and it can cause you to fail. Your internal dialogue can affect your confidence and your self esteem. Your internal dialogue can therefore be both helpful and unhelpful. Internal dialogue becomes a problem when it is unhelpful. If you are inclined to be anxious, your internal dialogue can reinforce your anxiety. Some commentators suggest that anxiety can also upset your internal dialogue by creating a vicious cycle. Just as smiling makes you feel happy, being exposed to negative language and unhappy thoughts can affect your mood. This includes your internal dialogue if you tend toward beating yourself up. In other words, you spend the entire day calling yourself stupid or silly. Or you spend your entire day telling yourself that you're silly, people don't like you, nobody will want you, you can't ever get married, you'll never hold down a good job. Being able to have a positive internal dialogue and look on the bright side can help you feel more positive and it will improve your mood. You must learn to manage your internal dialogue. It's important for both your mental well being and your success in life. You need to become more aware of your internal dialogue. This is important when you need to know what you are saying to yourself. You need to pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. If you begin to speak negatively to yourself, how do you feel? Your thoughts can make you sick and apprehensive. So, if you become sick during the day, where you develop a headache or an upset stomach, you need to pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. The bathroom is an excellent place to recover. Sit on the toilet, take a deep breath, and think about what you're saying to yourself. The bathroom is a perfect retreat. You need to sit there and talk to yourself or recite certain biblical verses that help you, where you bring yourself back under control. Some of us are very aware of our internal dialogue. It's a constant presence in the brain or even an ongoing conversation. Others are much less so and may find it harder to tune in. One way to become aware of your internal dialogue is to try doing some meditation because this helps you to concentrate on your thoughts. On Sunday, when I was worried and upset, I would go to church and fall asleep during the service holding my child. That was the best sleep. That hour helped bring me peace. When I left the church, I was revived. I felt safe. I was able to get rid of the negative internal dialogue. This was a time when I was living in my house and I could not afford to purchase gas to heat my home. I heated a portion of my home by turning on the oven. I had an electric stove. We slept in the room right off from the kitchen. I stopped worrying about not being able to heat the entire house. I just concentrated on getting up in the morning and going to work and paying my house note. I defeated my negative internal dialogue. I concentrated on what I could do, not on what I couldn't do. To find rest from your daily internal dialogue means you need to learn how to meditate during the day. You need some quiet time during the day. You need some verses that you can recite to yourself during the day. You need to have a list of positive affirmations that you say to yourself during the day. And you also need to have a list of things that you're grateful for. Remembering these affirmations and reciting what you are grateful for will help you. Now, there is a technique that you can use to make yourself consciously aware of your internal dialogue, and that is to think, I wonder what my next thought will be. Whether this interrupts your internal dialogue or just distracts your brain, it helps to give some space for the brain to become aware of what is happening. What you are chiefly trying to become aware of is the type of thoughts you tend toward having, where your internal dialogue goes as if you let it wander. This can give you a good idea of what is bothering you at any given time, whether you tend to think positively or negatively. Your dominant time orientation, which is past, present, or future, and your motivation, whether you tend to think about wanting more good things or fewer bad things, or whether you spend time trying to understand how things relate to one another. When you begin to have negative dialogue, you need to change your internal dialogue. Once you become more aware of what you are thinking and saying to yourself and the kinds of patterns that your thoughts tend to make, you can then do something about changing these thoughts. There are important ways in which you can help yourself. You need to go from negative internal thinking to positive internal thinking. It's easy to fall into the trap of beating yourself up internally and criticizing yourself all the time. Look, Looking for ways to improve is good, but blaming yourself because you have failed to achieve it is not good. It is important to try to avoid negative thinking in your internal dialogue. One way to do this is to consciously change what you are thinking. If you hear yourself thinking something negative, focus immediately on something positive instead. For example, instead of thinking about what you did wrong, think about what you will do differently the next time, or what you have learned, or even what you did well. In your mind, picture dropping the negative thought down a well. Picture the negative thought, then picture it falling down a well that you never see it again. Your negative internal dialogue often tends to focus on the past, what might have been, and the future, what might be. Focusing on the presence, therefore, both quietens your internal dialogue a little, and it also helps you concentrate on and appreciate what is happening now. This is the basis of mindfulness. Now, here is one for the battle of the mind. One way to change the direction of your thoughts, and particularly to prevent yourself from wanting more or less to think about what you have to be grateful for. This helps you to be more positive because you are looking for the good in life. This will help quieten your negative thinking. Tell yourself what you are grateful for. I am grateful that my car is still running. I am grateful that I have lights in my home. I am grateful that I have a house. I'm grateful that I have children. I am grateful that I have a husband. I'm grateful that my boss is not stupid. See, there's a list of things that you can make to why you are grateful. The more things that you say to yourself that you have to be grateful in your life, the better you will feel. We all have moments where our internal dialogue seems to go off on the rails all by itself and can spiral into a negative tirade. When you feel this is happening to you, it can be helpful to actually tell yourself to stop, as this pulls you up short and reminds you that this is unhelpful. Some people find that a firm but gentle mental note and asserting to yourself, stop it, will help you pull the reins in on your thoughts. You need to experiment with this when negative thoughts begin to appear in your mind. This technique is not easy. Controlling your internal dialogue takes time and practice, like any other mental exercise or practice. It takes time to learn how to listen to yourself and how to identify negative thoughts as soon as they begin. First, you will find that it's difficult to control negative internal thoughts. But the more you practice, the easier it will get. Although there will be times when you'll struggle, but you will get better and better at controlling your negative thoughts. You have to fight these negative thoughts with your accomplishments and with what you are grateful for. It is important that you do not beat yourself up if you are not successful all the time in defeating your negative thoughts. Stop looking for excuses to beat yourself up. Get up to experience and move on. The next time it will be easier. What really matters is how we think and our ability to fight back. One of the hardest negative thoughts to fight against are those thoughts that were told to us by our parents and our school teachers, especially those thoughts when they told us that we wouldn't amount to anything. You fight this thought by telling yourself, I can, I will achieve, and I will work hard to make a good life for myself and family. I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you remember. If you miss one of our shows, you can visit our YouTube channel at Touched by the Light Publishing to watch and listen to previous episodes of Women of Courage. Thank you. Dear listeners, help us save a life. Stop breast cancer from taking lives. Will you assist us in putting the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer in the hands of a million people? Please go to the website www.touchedbythelight.us and download the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer. Then email this booklet to 5 friends, asking them to email the booklet to 5 of their friends. We are trying to reach a million women with this information to save lives. The death of one woman to breast cancer from our community is one woman too many. We thank you for your support.
We live in a society that has created an impression that a woman is limited in what she can do. The society lets you see yourself as a weaker human, who should not aspire to greater things. Most of us grew up with that mentality and thus turned out to be unambitious. Good news is there are lots of women out there just like you who have turned their lives around dramatically. There's one underlying factor common to all these women: courage. They were courageous in the face of societal intimidation. They were courageous enough to move against societal norms that were unacceptable to them. They were courageous when it mattered most, thus writing their names in the sands of time. Reading the series Women of Courage is a good place to learn about the significant role courage plays in achieving great things in life.
One malady that internal dialogue can cause is anxiety. The word anxiety is a noun. It denotes a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. Other words that denote anxiety are worry, concern, apprehension, apprehensiveness, uneasiness, fearlessness, fear, disquiet, perpetude, fretfulness, agitation, nervousness, edginess, tension, stress, misgiving, foreboding, or suspense. Anxiety is also a nervous disorder characterized by a state of excessive uneasiness and apprehension, typically with compulsive behavior or panic attacks. When the excess fuel in the body is not used for physical activity, the chronic anxiety and outpouring of stress hormones can have a serious physical consequence on the body by suppressing the immune system, harming the digestive system, or causing muscle tension. Excess worrying can affect the body. For some reason, some people think that excess worry can actually help. They believe worrying can prevent this bad thing from happening. But actually, worrying can affect the body in ways that may surprise you. When worry becomes excessive, you become anxious and it can cause you to be physically ill. Worrying is a feeling of unease or being overly concerned about a situation or problem. With excess worrying, your mind and body go into an overdrive as you constantly focus on what might happen. In the midst of excess worrying, you suffer with high anxiety, even panic, during waking hours. Many chronic worriers tell of feelings of a sense of impending doom, an unrealistic fear that only increases with worry. Some people are oversensitive to their environment, and they're oversensitive to criticisms of others. Excessive worriers always see people and things as a potential threat. Chronic worrying can affect your daily life so much that it may interfere with your appetite, your lifestyle, your relationship, your ability to sleep, and your job performance. Many people who worry excessively are so anxiety ridden that they seek relief in harmful lifestyles such as overeating, cigarette smoking, or the use of alcohol and drugs. Anxiety in itself is a normal reaction to stress, but ongoing anxiety may be the result of a disorder such as a generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, or social anxiety. Anxiety is commonplace in the United States. The anxiety disorder affects nearly 40 million adults. Anxiety manifests itself in a multitude of ways and does not discriminate based on age, gender, or race. Stressful events such as a test or a job interview can make anyone feel a bit anxious, and sometimes a little worried or anxiety is helpful. It can help get you ready for an upcoming event. For instance, if you're preparing for a job interview, a little worry or anxiety may push you to find more information out about the position that you're applying for. Then you can present yourself more of a professional to your potential employer. But worrying about a test may help you study more and be more prepared on the test date. But if you persist, you can make yourself sick. Excess worriers react quickly and intensely to these stressful situations or triggers. Even thinking about a situation can cause chronic worriers great distress and disability. Excessive worry or ongoing fear or anxiety is harmful when it becomes so irrational that you can't focus on reality or think clearly. People with high anxiety have difficulty shaking their worry. Stop worrying. When that happens, they may experience actual physical symptoms. This is why excess worriers need the help of a doctor. Panic disorder involves repeated episodes of sudden feelings of intense anxiety and fear or terror that reaches a peak within minutes. This is what's called a panic attack. You may have feelings of impending doom, shortness of breath, chest pain, or a rapid fluttering or pounding heart. You need to seek the help of a professional if you are a chronic worrier. If your body is exhibiting any of the symptoms I just mentioned. Now, here are some things that you can do to fight anxiety. You can take a time out. You can try to make certain that you eat a balanced meal. You need to limit the use of alcohol and caffeine, especially if you have panic attacks. You need to try to get enough sleep. You need to try to exercise daily. You need to start taking deep breaths during the day. And you need to do your best to seek help. I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you.
Now that you have seen the amazing feats you can record by picking up a copy of Women of Courage, it's time for exploits. It's time for you to overcome obstacles such as lack of education or job. It's time to rid your mind of poisonous beliefs like women should only be seen and not heard. You must have realized by now that you need courage to support your dreams. You think you are disadvantaged because of the color of your skin? By the time you read the story of Rosa Parks in Women of Courage, you will see how you have been undermining yourself. By picking up a copy of this book, you will learn about the challenges, limitations, and rejections faced by these women as well as their coping mechanisms. In order to help you maximize the book, it comes with a workbook where you can keep track of your daily progress. So what are you waiting for? Go right ahead and purchase the series for yourself and every woman around you.
Self confidence is linked to almost everything we want or do in life. Self confidence is linked to our success at work, securing a relationship, a positive sense of self, and happiness. Fear of being unattractive comes from lack of confidence. Being confident does not mean that you have to be flashy, loud, or bold. Self confidence has more to do with an inner resolve than outward bravado. A healthy degree of self confidence can carry you a long way. Learning to speak up for yourself and learning to give your opinion is a form of developing self confidence. The willingness to take a step toward a goal is a form of courage and a form of self confidence. Our beliefs about ourselves are mostly shaped by those around us, including our friends and family. Confidence comes from being grounded, knowing who we are, knowing what our values are. The word confidence is a noun. It means a feeling of belief that one can rely on someone or something. Firm trust, the state of feeling certain about a truth or something, a feeling of self assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own ability or qualities. An example of this is for someone to say, I have confidence in my staff, which means that I believe or trust or have faith in my staff. Now, synonyms for confidence are reliance, dependence. Now, antonyms for confidence are distrust and skepticism. Now, if you're confident, you are self assured. You are self confident. You're self reliant. You believe in oneself. You have faith in yourself. You exhibit positiveness. You are assertive. You are self possessed. You are not nervous, but you are poised. You have the presence of mind. You are level headed. You are cool headed. You are firm. You are courageous and bold. Have fortitude. The opposite of this is doubt and uncertainty. No one is born with self confidence or self esteem. It is built. It comes from our interaction with other people and the support that we are given during childhood. The opposite of self confidence or self esteem is low self esteem, which is masked by depression, anxiety, anger, or substance abuse. Low self esteem contributes to instability. Oftentimes, people struggle with self esteem challenges that may be holding them back. Self esteem is about holding a positive, realistic, and consistent image of ourselves. Let me say this again. Self esteem is about holding a positive, realistic, and consistent image of ourselves, allows us to demonstrate self respect, a sense of self worth, and acceptance, which means that we deserve to be happy. We deserve fulfillment in life. We are not part of the stereotypes. When you feel a sense of discouragement or lack of fulfillment in your life, then you are experiencing a lack of confidence, a lack of inner strength. Now, the root of things like depression or anxiety are often tied to problems which affect our self esteem, causing us to poorly define our sense of identity. When these episodes happen in our lives, we need tools to boost our self esteem, to make us positive so we can continually think good things about ourselves. Self esteem is a concept that impacts our lives in many ways. It plays a role in how good or how bad we feel about ourselves, how effectively we interact with others, and how successful we are in our own life endeavors. When you develop a positive self esteem, that can lead you to a happier life. Low self esteem can wreak havoc in your life. None of us are the same. We all have our own cultural background, diverse past life experiences, unique struggles, and varying levels of stress, uncertainty, and self esteem. Self esteem is established early in life, but it does not have to remain consistent over time. Your feeling of low self esteem can be changed. There are factors in our life every day that affect our moods and level of self confidence. These factors impact the way we view ourselves and how we value ourselves. Self esteem plays a big role in determining how we will navigate our challenges to allow us to either feel happy and fulfilled or say and feel empty in various situations. Key to this is just accepting yourself. You are not perfect. You must accept yourself the way you are and maintain a belief in yourself worth and good because you exist as a human being. Your belief in yourself must be steadfast. When our self esteem is low, we develop a tendency to measure ourselves with more severe standards than we do with the rest of the world. We judge ourselves harshly. You must become resistant to this type of thinking. You have a veil that prevents you from believing in yourself and your self worth. You're going to have to get rid of these thoughts. Maintain a healthy sense of self esteem. You're going to have to work at building yourself. You're going to have to work at changing your internal dialogue. You're going to have to start talking to yourself positively. You're going to have to start loving yourself and accepting yourself. This will make life easier. You can benefit from building your self esteem. You need to establish a foundation of self worth. This means you need to talk to yourself about all the things that you've accomplished in your life. Not all the negative things that have occurred in your life, but all of the positive things that you have done in your life. Now, to help yourself, you need to find out about your self esteem. You need to know the level of your self esteem. You need to explore where low self esteem comes from and how deficiencies in your self worth might be impacting aspects of your life. If you learn to build your self esteem, you can overcome many of the struggles you face in order to achieve a more satisfying life and future. You need to know specific issues that create and perpetuate your feeling of low self-esteem. This means you need to make a list. Every time you feel bad, every time you kick yourself for doing something stupid or you call yourself stupid, make a note. You need to know what is driving your low self-esteem. You need to know this so you can get better. You need to keep track of your current thoughts to see when you get stuck in a place of low self-esteem. You have to learn how to take better care of yourself. You need to learn how to banish self-doubt for a happier, healthier life. You need to practice becoming more assertive and commanding the respect that you deserve. Learn to accept yourself, acknowledge your weaknesses, and forgive your mistakes. But more importantly, those that refuse to accept you, those that refuse to respect you, leave those people alone. Just because a person was a friend of yours or is a friend of yours, if they refuse to respect you, call you by the name that you want to be called, treat your home the way you want to be treated, treat your car the way you want it to be treated, then if those people refuse to respect you, leave those people alone. Having love for someone and having passion for someone more and above yourself makes you miserable. You are supposed to be compassionate and loving yourself more than anyone else. This information is for you. If you are worried, you cannot sleep, your stomach is upset, you are always talking bad about yourself, you have low self-esteem, and you need to start dealing with it, because dealing with your low self-esteem will lead you to a happier life. You need to stop living inside of a lie. Think about what I just said. I said you need to stop living inside of a lie. What are the lies that you have been telling yourself? I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you.
I think one thing we can all agree on is how important it is to find time in your life to grow with your personal development, your hobbies, with your profession, to step outside of your routine to explore. We cannot grow. We cannot expect change unless we are willing to try something new. And that's what I want you to focus on right now. Are you willing to step outside of your comfort zone? Are you willing to try something new regardless of the outcome? Because even when you try and you might not succeed, you still grow from the experience. That's what life is about. Being comfortable even when you're not comfortable. And I promise you, once you start to take those chances, you will begin to attract new opportunities into your life. But trust me, this step is never easy. But what you need to focus on is the end result. Are you content with staying the same, or are you looking for growth? Are you looking for change? Are you looking for opportunity? If you are, this is how you do it. You need to grow. It's just as important to how you end the day as it is to how you start the day. And that's with positivity. Now, we can't change what has happened today, but we can change our thoughts into tomorrow. Now, before you sleep, you need to make sure you're in a calm state of mind. No phones, no tablets, no distractions. I want you to start thinking about all of your dreams and goals coming true. I want you to really picture how life would be once you meet those goals. How happy would you be? How would your life change for the better if you met these goals? Now you can start to feel the anxiety of the day slowly fade. You can start to feel the heaviness turn to light. And every moment you stay in this calm state, you start to feel better, feel more confident. You start to feel more assured. And this is how you end every day, thinking about your goals, thinking about your accomplishments, thinking about the positive people in your life, all the support you have, all the people wishing you success. This is how you end your day. A calm state with positive thoughts. Your future is now. Visualize it into tomorrow. When you wake up this morning, I want you to think about a few things. In your life, what makes you happy? Is it family, relationships? Is it working or building your career? Is it school or education? What makes you happy every day? What makes you eager to start your morning? Now, while you're doing this, I want you to block any negative thoughts that you have. This is the time of day where you begin to invite positive thoughts into your mind. I want you to think about gratitude, being thankful for the things that you have in your life. Being thankful that you woke up this morning, that you have a job, a place to sleep. Being thankful that you have people around you that truly love and support you. Now make sure when you walk through today, you do it with a positive mind and live by the law of attraction. Believe 100% that positive things will happen throughout the day. And even if things don't go as planned, do not spend time focusing on that. Everything that you want in your life can be achieved. And it's up to you to go out and make it happen. And remember, express positive energy and you will get positive things back in your life. This is how you live by the law of attraction. You need to live life with a purpose. You need to spend the time needed to explore, to find your true passion. There are so many unhappy people in this world not willing to make a change. There are so many unhappy people not focusing on the big picture. 1 out of 3 people are happy with their lives. Think about that for a second. 70% of the people you see every day are not happy. And the majority of that has to do with purpose. People are programmed, wired to be okay with the minimum. People stay in jobs they're not passionate about. They date people who don't support them, hang out with people who don't help them grow. This can't be you. You need to spend the time to discover what your true calling is. What are you passionate about? What do you see yourself doing to make your mark? Are you in a job right now that you're truly happy with? Do you wake up every morning excited to start your day? If not, that's okay. You know now this isn't fulfilling you. But what are you gonna do about it? Are you willing to make a change to help reach your goals? If you are, it needs to start now. Because this won't happen overnight, finding your true calling. But once you do, you will see how everything changes. You will begin to see the quality of your life increase. All those problems you had, they slowly fade. You begin to see how powerful life is with a purpose.
I want you to pay close attention to this next list. It's extremely important that you understand what this list is saying to you. The list is the results of low self esteem and a poor image. Low self esteem makes you hateful, it makes you produce despicable behavior. You will sneak into a woman's room or you'll sneak into a man's room. You'll tell one another secrets after someone confides in you. You will have sex with every man you meet. You will bring men into your home that you know nothing about. You will let these men molest your children. You will neglect your children for the praise from some man. The consequence of a low lifestyle. You will commit adultery. You will betray your friends. You will lie. You will cheat. You will cover up. And you will prostitute yourself. Nothing good comes from lack of confidence. You will try to steal someone else's husband. You will be filled with jealousy, hatred, and envy. You will commit rape, murder, and commit debaucherous acts. Low self esteem is a hateful lifestyle. You must do everything and anything to raise your self esteem because it not only affects you, it affects your children. Your child's life depends on your self esteem. The Women of Courage show broadcasts every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. Please remember, if you are not in your car or near a radio during our broadcast, we can be seen and heard on your computer if you go to TV33WHPR.com. Again, TV33WHPR.com. We can also be heard on your phone if you download the free app WHPR TV Detroit Live or listen to us on Roku at WHPR TV Detroit Live 88.1 FM. If you missed one of our broadcasts, you can view our archive on YouTube at the Touch by the Light Publishing channel. Twice a month on Saturday, I meet with my listeners for a discussion about issues affecting women. Please join us. For dates, times, and directions, you can reach us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. Stop thinking there is nothing you can do to change the world. Your life is important. You need to come out and join us and give a voice to our concerns. For more information on our subjects or our books, you can email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. We enjoy your listening to the Women of Courage show at WHPR every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. And we support your local hairstylist. Do not forget to go to touchedbythelight.us website and download a copy of the booklet, Black Women and Breast Cancer. Thank you for listening to Women of Courage and have a great day.